request Sheetal to take it from there. And this session will be recorded session, so we'll be recording this. And any feedback, any comment, any suggestions, if you want to give, please share us on the chat. We will be take it from there, and we'll respond to that. Sheetal, we can start now.
Good evening and good morning, everyone. My name is Sheetal. I'm the co-founder for Finovista. Welcome all to the fifth talk series for phase two, and thank you all for joining in. Uh, so, just for people who've joined us today for the first time, would like to brief you about MECS program, which is, so under MECS program in India, we are organizing these talk series session, which I will be taking in my discussion further. So, Modern Energy Cooking Services Program is a UK aid FCDO funded global research program. It's running up till 2026 and it's led by Loughborough University. The program is working towards accelerating the access of modern energy based cooking. The research under the program spans across a range of fuels and technologies, but there is a strong evidence of viability of electric cooking through energy efficient devices. Finovista is the in-country partner for MECS program in India, and as in-country partner, we work on like a span, a wide array of aspects related to transition to modern energy-based cooking with respect to policy, supply chain, which concerns the manufacturing base, finance, the consumer, and of course, the promotion of modern energy-based cooking, under which we've already successfully created a lot of interventions in India. And to be honest, when we started this program back in December 2019, there was negligible acceptance towards, I would say, electric cooking specifically. And we had a handful of such devices which were available in India. But we would say that, and a very few companies who were operating in this domain. But I think with a lot of consistent effort, we've been able to bring together the key stakeholder of this sector in India. And I think Talk Series gives a very prominent platform. And the fact that, we can see a rapid increase in the availability of energy efficient devices in Indian market with a lot of new players coming up in India, and a lot of policy interventions also related, whether it's go electric, whether it's supposed to be star labeling for induction cooking devices. We've come a long way, I must say. And Talk Series as a platform, we've established to bring together the key stakeholders to discuss on key aspects. I'm very proud to say that we are a growing community, and till date, we have almost 1,400 registered global user. People who are coming to listen to these sessions, which happen almost every month. We've successfully concluded 12 of these sessions on a range of topics in our last phase, and we are on the second phase where today is the fifth session of the series. So not taking much time, just wanted to touch upon today's discussion, for which we have a stellar panel with us, and Nick would be taking forward this session. We all know that the LPG prices in India have been on a rise consistently, and there is a continuous lookout on alternate technologies. Definitely, induction-based cooking is a viable option in terms of its efficiency and the gains in terms of the cost savings that it gives, but there is an increase in the reliable supply of electricity, but still we have challenges with respect to that. So the current talk is focused on, an integrated solar DC based technology. We want to understand from today's discussion that what are the aspects of viability of this kind of technology in India, given abundance of solar energy in India, and consistent efforts at the generation front also. With respect to cost effectiveness, because we all know that there is a high cost in terms of the technology, but when we look at the operational cost, it becomes uh, kind of acceptable in long term. We want to understand that what is the acceptability of Indian households and maybe globally also from speakers. And there is always a possibility of innovation in the technology. So where is there requirement which is there? And of course, we have two people in the panel who can give a lot of inputs on terms of domestic manufacturing and the possibilities of cost reduction. So with this, I would request Dr. Nick Russo, who's the International License Manager for MECS program in India, to take
Uh,
over the session from here.
Dr. Mr. Shankar is here, so I think, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
So I would invite, yeah. So I would invite Nick to please introduce Girja Shankarji and request him to take the session forward. Yeah.
Thanks, Sheetal. Okay, so very interesting session lined up with a great variety of speakers. So I think this will be quite interactive. I'm hoping that you'll all be able to offer your comments and your questions, and we'll get a good discussion going and end up with some key insights onto the way forward of this very important area, actually. As Sheetal says, a lot of people don't have sufficient grid connectivity to 100% rely on electricity for cooking. And so being able to incorporate solar power is a key part of the solution if we're going to reach the billions of households across India. Okay, so EESL, I believe it's called Energy Efficient Services Limited, is a leading company in India that's working very hard in this space. And I'm very pleased that Mr. Shankar is going to talk to us about what they're doing. We're working with ESL on a number of areas, and I think they've got a huge role to play in opening up the market. Mr. Shankar did his MTech in 2006 in power systems, having had a BA from the University of Rajasthan in 93, but he's had over 18 years of experience in electromechanical building services and was involved in a number of major projects comprising policy and implementation of energy efficient programs in various states. He has made a significant contribution into committees in government, in particular the MNRE, with the National Advisory Council for Green Buildings. And he has been our contact and colleague for quite a period of time now. So I think he's got a good understanding of the electric cooking landscape and the way in which ESL can intervene into that. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Mr. Shankar, and then we'll have a panel to discuss his comments and the way forward.
Thank you, Nick. It is a privilege me by this introduction, a very, I think, well-known personality in the clean cooking. So it is a privilege for me and the proud for me And also not only Vimal, Sitar and the Kaho team, we are here. So it is a good opportunity for ESL also. So on behalf of ESL, thanks MECS and the Finovista team to provide this opportunity. It may also in line with the program on which ESL is working on. So I have just brief presentation. If I'm just giving 1 minute. Hope my PPT is visible too.
Yes, sir, it's visible. You can put it on the play mode, but it is visible to us.
Okay. So the clean cooking on which MECS is working not only in India but internationally and doing a very excellent work for promoting the energy efficient and the clean cooking environment in the kitchen. So on ESL side, I just give brief about that. In last 3-4 years, we are working with the Ministry of Power and the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. And there is a focus group has been created by the ministry where they see that what type of the energy transition can happen in the clean cooking area. So based on the multiple level of discussion, it was envisaged that if ESL can bring a clean cooking solutions, which is based on the solar and which may be able to provide a clean cooking option to the Indian household. So ESL interacted with the various organizations. We have worked also on the AC induction cook stoves. In 2018, we have installed 100 induction cook stove in the Andaman and Nicobar helmet areas, where we have put the 1 kilowatt solar, air AC induction plus inverter and the battery. So in the new concept, ESL is working on that. We have to use as a efficiency as a gain parameter, and
So,
it will.
we can't see the slides moving. We can't see the slides moving if you have moved them. We can still see the first slide.
Okay. Is it? It is now. It is
Yes.
visible.
Yes, and we are now able to see the ICL.
Okay. Okay. So that we have proposing the DC based induction cook stove, and it is powered through the solar. So it will provide a perfect net zero emission, I think, solution for the clean cooking options. So you can see here the workable model is there are the two options. One where we can use as a battery, which can provide a support for the maximum utilization of solar energy, whatever generated from the solar panel. It can be harnessed and maybe fully utilized for the clean cooking options. The DC-based induction cook stoves was proposed in the model, and it is the 48 volt DC induction cook stove with the 1200 watt the power, and there is a battery of 50 Ah and the charger controller, which will be part of the solutions. So this is the proposed model we are envisaging in this solar-based induction cooking program. There are also options if we want to, I think, eliminate the battery, then we have to use the generated solar energy it fed to the grid, and whenever the cooking is required, so the same amount of energy will be taken from the grid. So here in the second option, the grid works as a battery. Both options have their cons and pros. In the battery-based solar induction cook solutions, it will provide the complete reliable solution. So whatever the solar energy is created by the solar PV panel, it will be stored in the battery, and whenever the cooking is required, the energy is taken from out from the battery and used for the cooking purpose. In the second option, the battery is a costlier device, and it also requires the frequent maintenance requirement, which involve the cost. So there are other options also we are thinking out, where the energy is directly fed to the grid, and then grid works as a battery or as a backup solutions. And whenever the energy is used, so the net energy consumption in the cooking will be completely, we can say it is a near to the nil, and whatever the energy is required for the cooking, more than that has been fed to the grids. So in the both way, the carbon footprint will be reduced down, and it will provide a complete clean cooking solution. ESL also working with the various investors and the carbon market companies. So we see that this entire system will be available to the rural and semi-urban household at a very low price, or we can assume as a free of cost to the consumer. So if we can integrate the whatever the subsidy scheme of MNRE, and we also use the carbon finance options. So if we, the ESL is think out that this proposed model, we engage the agency who can provide the maximum cost effective investment from the carbon marketing companies. So ESL will provide the authorization for getting the carbon benefit for the 8 or the 5 or the 10 years, depending upon the cost and the engagement of the role of these companies. So ESL is going to procure in the bulk size the PV, battery, induction cook stove, controller, and we also hire the agencies which will provide the highest, I think, the outcome or the value in terms of the carbon credit basis. So ESL have the partnership from all the three or four agencies. So carbon marketing agency will be procured on the H1 or highest cost basis, and the others, the solution providers, may be on the L1 basis. So the demand aggregation benefit will be utilized, and the cost effectiveness of this solution may be achieved, and there is no or the major burden to the consumers. The major challenge the ESL is envisaging in this entire system is that measurement and verification part. So we are working with the solution providers, where the data of energy consumptions and the energy generation by the solar panel in the real time will be saved or maybe stored, and that can be traced out and may be made available to the rating agency or the monitoring carbon credit agency, so they can able to provide a robust mechanism can be ensured. And we are working on the method that this entire system will be meet the gold standard or the very I think a high level of standard, where the investors who are working and providing this solution on the basis of the carbon credits, so they may also get paid, and they also may be able to earn their profits. So this is the proposed solutions we are providing in this scheme. So this is the entire, I think, the ecosystem we are able to create this one. So on the one left side, you can see the solution providers are there. On the right side, there is an investor, and ESL will work around, and this scheme will be part of the government scheme. So we are saying that either maybe the viability gap funding and the rooftop solar subsidy both can be leveraged to provide a very cost-effective solution to the Indian households. We are targeting around 1 lakh quantities for the first phase, and we are also under discussion with the various state governments. The entire system will be on the basis of the auction of the services for the investment, and also on the L1 basis, we procure the component of the entire solutions. So we are working on it. MECS and the other stakeholders are also providing the support to this entire ecosystem, and we are very keen and flexible to make the partnership with the all organizations or the companies who can able to support in creation of this type of ecosystem. So both the solar induction cook stove with the battery and solar cook stove without battery, they have their cons and pros and may provide a good solution. The DC cook stove provide a very, I think, the high level of efficiency parameter, and also provide a the output in comparison to the AC. So you all are aware that induction cook stove is working on the high frequency AC, and the eddy current losses which are coming in the pans, that can be utilized for the heating purposes. So in the DC cook stove, there is a elimination or the one lower level of the conversion of AC to DC will be minimized or maybe eliminated in the case in comparison to the AC induction cook stove. So we are working on this initiative. Currently, the ministry is discussing with the ESL, and we are creating the scheme for the ministry level. Once that will be finalized, and we are also in the process of discussion with the various carbon market companies. So we are very keen and open to whosoever present in this, I think today's this discussions. So my humble request to all of you, if anyone wants to be participate or wants to be associated with this scheme, we are very quite flexible, and it may be good support for ESL also, because this level of transition requires the many partners, and we are working on that front. So if we see that the DC cook stove or the solar-based induction cooking solution, so it will cross across the at SDGs, and because of this wide spectrum of the SDG achievement, it will provide a good support for the carbon credit. So our target of those consumers who are using the wood-based cooking solution in the baseline, and we want to replace their existing cooking practice to the solar-based induction cooking based heating or the cooking practices. So this is from ESL side. I see on the today's discussion, we may also get the good input, and my humble request to all of you, kindly be associate with the ESL and provide your inputs and your support in this endeavor. So thanks, Sita, and it is over to you.
Thank you. So very, yeah, definitely a very exciting initiative, very complex, and I think with a lot of challenges, but from the number of people on this session alone, we know that a lot of interest is forming around what you're doing, both within India and internationally, and that's exciting itself. I think India is becoming quite a leader in this area, trying out some models as a result of your domestic market. There's already been quite a lot of response in the chat with questions about the cost, the energy efficiency of induction, and the need to get the products out into the very wide markets across rural India. So we can no doubt come back to those points. later in the session. So do keep the comments coming, and if you see a comment and you can respond to it, then do that as well. Give your name and contact details, and we'll keep the conversation going. We can't manage everything ourselves, so it's up to you guys to keep talking to each other and build the solutions together. Okay, so I'm very pleased to introduce three esteemed panelists who will give their perspective on the challenges that Mr. Shankar has set out. And then we have a surprise guest at the end. The first of our panelists is Mr. Subhag Jain. He's the founder of Kaho Solar Limited, if I pronounce that correctly. And Mr. Jain is a technology enthusiast with a keen interest in renewable energy. He attempts to use the most advanced technology to improve lives of people living in adverse conditions. He's credited with installation of India's first lithium-ion battery-based solar decentralized off-grid project, that's a mouthful, which paved the way for early adoption of lithium-ion batteries in India. And he runs Kaho Solar Limited, a green energy company with a focus on disruptive technologies in the renewable energy field and a manufacturer of lithium-ion batteries in India. Mr. Jain, I would welcome your remarks. If you could limit them to 5 minutes, just respond to what you've heard, share your ideas on the opportunities, challenges, and the way forward. You were on the screen and now you've disappeared. I'm afraid you've turned your camera off, have you? Or lost connection?
Nick, I think we lost him.
Has he just dropped out? Okay.
He's coming back.
Oh, no, here he is again. Apologies. Even technology enthusiasts struggle with technology sometimes.
Mr. Subhag.
Once he joined, I also thanks Nick to providing the support from the MECS, and not only the ESL to the other institution, organization. It is a very enthusiastic and very supportive to bring all stakeholders at one place, take the inputs, may provide support to whatever the requirement of this entire ecosystem. So that a great support from your organization, Lucknow University, and Vimal Finovista as a particular case. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. You're very welcome. And if others on the line have suggestions for other topics, we're always open to that. Shall we proceed with another speaker, another panelist, maybe? I think Mr. Jain's having trouble connecting.
Yeah, please call the other speaker till the time we're solving his issues.
Okay. Is Mr. Pandey there? Mr. Manish Kumar Pandey? Hi there. Hello. Great to see you again. So Manish Kumar Pandey's experience in the field of promotion and use of sustainable energy solutions has spread over 12 years. His area of expertise is off-grid rural electrification and distributed generation, as well as clean cooking. And he began his career with Terry in May 2009, many years ago. And he's currently the national coordinator for the UNDP GEF Small Grants Programme. In 2014, he was also selected to represent India in the Future Energy Leadership Programme during the World Energy Congress in Daegu, South Korea. I don't know how to pronounce that. So very keen to hear your comments and remarks on the challenge that ESL are proposing. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Nick, for your kind words. And I'm so glad and privileged to be part of this discussion. And I would like to congratulate ESL and MECS and Finovista for taking the agenda of modern energy cooking system forward. Based on my experience of implementing clean cooking solutions in different states as part of Terry's Clean Energy Access Program, I would like to highlight 2-3 points, which I think we need to consider those points while we are going forward in implementation of these modern cooking systems like solar-based integrated cooking systems. So I think one issue that Mr. Girija Shankar already touched upon is on the issue of affordability. So that is one of the very important decision a user or any beneficiaries make. How whether it is affordable for us or not. So that is the first thing that we need to be careful of. And I think in the presentation given by Mr. Shankar, he actually mentioned that how he's trying to collaborate with different ongoing schemes and integrating the carbon, carbon credit fund, which can make it affordable. So I hope that this will actually address the issue of affordability. I think for any technology to transition, anyone to transition from one set of technology to another set of technology, the first mover is actually the urban consumer. And I think in this case also many of the user who are from actually urban area or semi-urban area, I hope will definitely go forward with this kind of a technology, considering the uh, you know uh, type of schemes that that's going to be there in this. So the issue of affordability will definitely, is it need to be taken care of. Now, second issue that I think it's very important, and I think I am not sure that whether it has been taken care of or not. But the second issue is the reliability of the technology. In many of our earlier program, which as part of Lighting a Billion Lives implementation as part of Terry's flagship program, we also saw that many of the solar systems that we disseminated in the rural area, reliability is one of the most critical aspects, whether when the people actually shift from one technology to another. So in this case also, whether because this is a new kind of a technology, and there is a need to uh, you know have a robust after sales service mechanism so that users especially do not face any difficulty. If that happens, then people or the beneficiaries will understand that it is a reliable technology, because everything can wait, but uh, a family has to cook twice or thrice in a day. So that should be taken care of, that the product or whatever it is being given to the beneficiaries, that is reliable, robust, and if there is any issue, then there is somebody who are able to come and address it. So third issue that I would like to touch upon is the accessibility. Whether this scheme or whatever is like or whichever way we want to actually start, then whether this product is accessible or not. As I mentioned earlier, whether the first mover will be the urban consumers, but going forward, how we are able to disseminate this technology to the rural area, where the large number of consumers are actually using, whether the traditional cook stoves or traditional chulha, or LPG, and LPGs are not like they are not able to afford, so they are actually using the traditional cook stoves, and which is highly polluting and impacting their health. We all are knowing about this. So how we make that this product are actually accessible to even to the remotest of the households, and they are able to buy it at an affordable price. I think these three things will be very important for this technology to move forward. I'll stop here and we'll come back. Thank you. I think you are muted, Nick. You are muted.
Sorry, thank you. Yes, you're right. Okay, three very important points, certainly. This is definitely a challenging area. So the challenges are kind of cumulative in a way, aren't they? You want it to be a comprehensive and reliable system that works under all conditions, but that then can create a lot of expense. And then you've got a lot of technology for people who are maybe not familiar with technology to adopt and to accept. So yes, they can all add up together. Continuing to see some good comments in the chat. Useful point about the size of the battery that I think ESL can look at. But I'm now pleased to say that Mr. Jain is back with us. And without further ado, I will invite him to give his remarks. Hi there. Thank you. Oh, you're on mute. Sorry, unmute yourself.
If things can go wrong, they shall go wrong. So I would like to thank the team of MECS and Finovista for having us here. Mr. Vimal and Sheetalji are doing a great service to the world in general and India in particular. So, though we are a strong believer that solar-based clean energy cooking solution is the way forward to solve this mammoth problem of $2.4 trillion spent per year, but we feel that the electrochemistry based solutions will have a lot of challenges. Our take is that the insulated solar electric cookers is the right way to go forward. It fulfills all the 6 indicators laid down by the World Bank in their multi-tier framework to analyze access, to measure access of clean cooking to the people of the world. Because the insulated solar energy clean cooking solutions, they rarely have a moving part in the system, which induce a lot of stability, sustainability, and affordability in the product. The systems become robust, always ready to cook, will cook on demand, and is easy to install, portable, and has all the points which a great cooking solution needs to have to provide clean cooking access to the world. Electrochemistry based batteries, if we induce batteries, then the sustainability and affordability becomes a balancing act. If we get an LTO battery which has a very long life, then the system becomes unaffordable. And if we use some other type of battery, then the systems will become unsustainable because of the need of replacement of the battery. So I think if you want to solve this problem and provide a good solution, the insulated electric solar cooker is the way forward. Recently, on 6th of March, the Honorable Prime Minister of India inaugurated such a solution during the India Energy Week. And while inaugurating, he set a target of putting about 3 crore such systems within the next 2 to 3 years. And the ultimate goal is to transit all the Ujjwala scheme users from the current LPG scheme to a solution like inaugurated by him during that event. So our strong take would be that we should innovate, get out of the traditional mindset of a battery-based system and innovate and look around the new technologies which are evolving around the electric insulated solar cooking. That's from our side.
Thank you. Very clear. And a controversial point, I'm sure. Others will disagree, but I think it's an important challenge to the conventional thinking. Again, it highlights where innovation is needed and where India is carrying out some really world-class work to develop new solutions. It's very exciting to see your Prime Minister supporting this development. Thank you. And last on our panelist, we have Ms. Arti Kanodia, who I've got to know well in recent years. She studied business management and is the only woman manufacturer of cook stoves among 50 or 60 manufacturers in India. Her experience lies in establishing supply chain and deep distribution networks for stoves in India. At present, the company that she leads, Real Flame Pearl Print Back Private Limited, it has sold over 3 million cooking stoves across all Indian states to provide clean yet affordable cooking solutions to the rural populace. And they are moving rapidly towards electric cooking solutions. Arti, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Nick. Thank you very much for the positive introduction, and thank you, Finovista, for the opportunity. As a lot is discussed about the solar DC integrated stove and its challenges, I'll be sharing my elaborated views on positive side of electricity development in India, along with IoT for cooking device and its carbon financing. So as we are moving towards buildings, transport, industry, and even cooking for electrification, India is rapidly increasing its renewable sources. India has overachieved its commitment made in COP21 Paris Summit by already meeting 40% of the power capacity from non-fuels almost 9 years ahead of its commitment. So if you ask me, I think we are all ready to go electric when it comes to cooking. And my team recently has been working very intensively with IoT to develop IoT device for cooking appliances. As we know, IoT is Internet of Things. IoT makes it very convenient to track, store, and analyze data. These data in competitive world, from the company's point of view, has become very important to operate efficiently and competitively. From customers' point of view, data can help them to use the device very systematically. That provides ease to them to use it economically. IoT in the end can also be used for tracking carbon credits from the data center. And this makes carbon financing very easy. And these carbon finances can act as a subsidy for the device, which in the end makes it very economical for the investor and the end consumer. So that is from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Arti. Commendably brief. And you're right, India is on a fantastic and very impressive journey towards green energy. And harnessing the power of the sun is clearly also a big part of what you're doing, whether that's at grid level or more local community and individual level. And I think, yes, I think your experience of these kinds of devices and the importance of building in monitoring and control capability is critical. And again, India has some world-leading examples of that, but it doesn't become an additional cost element when you're looking at the upfront cost of the device, but it can be critical to supporting the kind of payment over time models that will help to make the devices affordable. Okay, so we've got a few minutes now. We've heard from quite a few people. I'm just looking down the chat. I think the biggest topic that has come up time and again is this question of storage and how that adds cost to the capex, if you like, of the device. And there are various technical solutions, and there are questions about what size of storage is needed. And as I remember from the Solar Newton product, they have a number of scales of storage. They're using thermal storage that they describe as being cooking 1, 2, or 3 meals a day, because obviously the sun shines in the day, and so you can store it for the evening. But can you store it enough for breakfast and lunch the following day? Would anyone who's not spoken like to offer a view on these questions of storage that we've not heard before? I'm just looking down the chats. There's certainly some people online who have experience that might be useful to share. Would anyone like to put their hand up? Oh, we have someone. Stuart, would you like to offer your comments? Stuart, are you there? I guess it's Stuart from Village Infrastructure Angels.
I'd like to offer my comments, but I can't find where I raised my hand. I'm sorry.
Oh, I think you did raise your hand, and so
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to invite you to speak.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I mean, I think I'm the surprise speaker at the end, but I'm not sure. This is exactly what we're working with, is using to respond to the four last talk and what Alexis and Stuart had to say, is that there are some seemingly low-hanging fruit. If we can insulate this, we can use lower power and we can get by with less storage.
Thank you. So I think you're talking about an alternative to induction and potentially using electric pressure cookers or some form of insulated pot
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's a good point. And I think you've got a solution at Village Infrastructure Angels, which if people are interested, I'm sure you'd be happy to share. I just seeing another hand go. Oh, that's Stuart again. Sorry. Would anyone else? No, the actual surprise guest is someone else that Vimal has brought in. But would anyone else like to offer a comment before we move on to?
I think it's Stuart's hand. He can able to speak. Just check with him. Okay.
Did you want to make a further comment, Stuart?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't talk before because I had to be unmuted by you guys. So the point I wanted to make was also that we include a insulation bag so that when a pot is cooked, it can actually stay warm outside the cooking pot for up to 6 hours. So you could finish a cook in the daytime and it actually will stay warm until the evening. Obviously, that's going to struggle to go until the next day in the morning, but that can allow more real-time cooking in the daytime with direct solar panel and minimize the need for a battery. And that insulation bag is as effective as leaving it in the pot itself. We've done measurements of both. So, and only costs a few dollars to have a bag to insulate a cooked pot of food. Of course, you'd then have a spare pot to then cook your second batch of food in the same pot while the other one stays warm. So accessories are important as well.
Okay, good part. I think that's a very innovative solution to what you broadly consider the storage issue, and also the need to cook multiple devices. I guess what, in my terms, that's like the Wonder Bag that was introduced in various countries in sub-Saharan Africa, and I think it's still around actually. But by the way, if you're interested in knowing more about Stuart's solution, I would recommend going to YouTube to the Global Distributors Collective. They organized a trade show where a number of companies offered electric pressure cooker solutions. We have someone else who's raised their hand. There's Parveen Damija. Would you like to speak?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Praveen Damija. I have been in this sector for quite long, first with MNRE and of course now with the Skill Council. My experience is that, the induction-based cooking or electric cooking cannot be a complete solution to the, cooking habits. And there's a lot of diversity in the eating habits in India. You see right from top to bottom. And even when we introduced smokeless cook stoves, or we introduced biogas stoves. Biogas, of course, was very successful because the lady could cook any type of food. But even with smokeless, where they had to make some type of chapatis or they have to do so, this sort of a cooking cannot be a total. Even in Haryana, we did the induction cooking. We have covered about 45 villages where we gave the electric induction cooker stoves. So they had a supplementary, they could supplement it, boil water, boil milk, tea, but the entire cooking could not be done on this. This is what I want to say. So it's good that carbon finance is being linked with this. That will give it a boost, but at the same time, we have to look for some better solutions because the price affordability is also one factor. Here we had subsidized it. We had given 50% subsidy and 50% people had willingly bought it. They were very happy with it, but then their entire cooking needs were not met. So this is what I want to say. So I appreciate your the efforts made by your organization. And of course, ESL, that is a good way of promoting it, and hope it works better. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think you're right that saying that Indian cooking is very diverse, and we have, through Finovista's research, got a number of insights into these challenges and how different solutions can operate. And they do have different benefits, there's no doubt about it. And there's a piece of research that we've not been able to publish yet, looking at how to get households to cook 100% of all their dishes with electricity. And that is not easy. And it highlighted a number of factors. I think the MECS position on this, just to be clear, is not that we expect everyone to move to 100% electricity tomorrow. We always recognize that there will be a stack. People will use a variety of devices. They continue to do this in rural communities anyway. Some we've been to see have an induction stove. They still use their chula. They cook some things with gas. And roti are notoriously difficult to cook in anything other than traditional ways. But innovation is a wonderful thing, and I'm optimistic we'll continue to see some new solutions coming forward. Okay, we've got a few more hands up, and then I'm going to conclude, but this has been a really good discussion. So who would like to go next? Mr. Jain has got his hand up. Would you like to make some further remarks? Sorry, you're muted again.
I would like to invite Ms. Dhamija for her to come and witness the solar Nutan, the Surya Nutan,
Okay.
which we have, in which we can do steaming, cooking. The most important thing, we can make delicious rotis on this stove.
Okay.
And you don't need
I
any special
I would
Okay,
love to come, but I have been in this sector right from the first day the first cook stove was launched in
Madam,
1983.
that is why
Yeah,
your
so
comment
we have
and suggestion.
transitioned. No. See, it is not a question that it cannot be done. The thing is, you will have to educate the woman. You will have to change her habits. That is there.
yes.
Connecting with women is very important.
Your comment and when you will look at it, you will tell us some inputs which will enable us to make the system much more functional and acceptable in the market, since you are there for so many years.
It's a good offer, but I think that there is another very important point which you're making, which is about the need to help users to understand the new technology, the new approach. Again, another study that Finovista have carried out recently was looking at the impact of introducing induction stoves into a community. And sadly, because the users, the women, were not explained how to make use of it, they just didn't take advantage of it, because these things are different, they're unfamiliar, and they need explanation. Okay, we're getting to the end of time, but I've got some more hands up.
You'll be happy to learn that, in the 45 villages, 12,000 households, all of them did buy one cook stove, electric cook stove. So that was like you said, when we demonstrated, we educated them. So as a supplementary, they are using it, and they are using it. If something went wrong, they did come back to us that we want to get it rectified. It's not that they are not using it. Once they are explained, once they are told they are the benefits, they are using it. But whether it can meet their entire cooking needs,
that may be the case.
Yeah.
Madam, before you just go, how can we get your
I'm going to have to
address or
call it to
something?
order. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Dhamija. I am ex-seminary. You can visit the Skill Council website. You'll find my details there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Put your details on the chat as well. If you want to take up the offer to go and see the solar Newton in practice, I'm sure other people would.
Yeah, please, I'll do it on the chat. You forgot that.
Okay, Arani Ghosh has also put their hand up very briefly, and then I think Sheetal probably wants to call us to order. And I know I've got my surprise guest. Is Pete waiting there? Is he?
Yes, I'm from Arani Ghosh from NKing International. First is the costing. Regarding the costing, what is the cost? Is my calculation is near about more than the 50,000 cost for if you use the 100,000 watt cook stove. So I want to know what is the exact cost for the cook stove. Secondly, in the battery capacity, in my calculation, it's if you use the battery for 2 hours use in night time, it's required the 150 ampere hour battery, 12 volt battery. So you have any calculation regarding the battery capacity? So I can review and is my calculation is right or wrong? I can look.
Okay.
Third is in the rural community is the 100,000 watt cook stove need near about 15 ampere connecting point. So can rural you can say that the grid or you can say that the home wiring can able to sustain this high amount of current. Fourth is the utensil. Because of the induction cook stove need a different type of utensil. So for the if you distribute the cook stove in the rural area, so you need to distribute also the utensil for this with this cook stove. So how to solve it, or you have any idea?
Thank
Fourth
you.
is it the DC cook stove or the induction? Only the DC heating stove or induction? Because of DC, no need to any utensil. So I want to know it.
Sure. They're all very, very valid points. Maybe if you could put them in the chat. I don't think we can answer them all now. And I know the question of price is something which is going to be a factor of a number of different considerations. So it's probably not possible to give a direct price. But thank you, Mr. Ghosh. I'm going to end this session, this slot now, and invite Peter Schwartz, Professor Peter Schwartz, to make himself visible and audible. He's a partner of MECS at Cal Poly from California, and he's been exploring with students and collaborators insulated solar electric cooking since 2017, and he was the winner of a challenge fund. So we were keen to invite him to offer his perspective and experience on the questions that we've been discussing. So, Pete, you're there. Would you like to
Yes, I
take
am.
the floor?
Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you fine, thank you.
Excellent. So this is very opportune because a lot of questions that come up about price, I want to answer those directly. Can you see my first slide, ISA cooking product and process?
Yep, certainly can.
Excellent. So it's very simple, just a solar panel connected directly to a heater. But if you insulate it, you can use less power, which is less cost. And so a 100-watt solar panel costs $50. 100 watts will boil 1 liter in 1 hour. And so you can cook 5 kilograms of beans in a day, for instance. And so what if you want more than 100 watts or you want to cook at night? All of these are options. But what is very valuable is the insulation will save you energy, money, and we can produce these locally. That's what's special. And so we can produce this locally probably for about $30 without power. And so an $80 unit would be your very basic for the rural poor. And you could cook 5 kilograms per day. But if you wanted more, the same unit could be upgraded to cook 5 kilograms per hour. And what if you wanted grid connection? Well, that's no extra cost, but you need the grid. And you could make it DC grid with about a $10 rectifier. And the reason you might want to do that is because then you could run these in parallel, giving you the versatility of running a solar cooker or the grid seamlessly from each other. And you can make that bigger. And so this would be like $140. And this is the ones that a lot of people are talking about. If you want batteries, you're going to boost your price up, between $300 to well over $1,000. And this is what people were talking about, being expensive. And this is kind of where we're working with the Sierra Nutan. Whereas our units are, about a tenth the cost. They look less pretty. We need to work on that. And the thing is you can start very simple and inexpensive, and you can augment them if you're producing them locally. In particular, a thermal storage unit would cost an extra $20, and you get very high power, even if you only have a 100-watt solar panel. So this is a video. We made this in Togo.
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you to.
Yes. Hello.
Can you still hear me? Are you?
Yeah, I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
I just keen to move forward. So
Oh, okay. So I thought I had 5 minutes. Sorry. In any case, we generated about 100,000 watts. We boiled a kilogram of water in about 3 seconds, and so we can do all that with thermal storage, and we're producing these. MECS has we have several partners in Africa and India, and we can produce these with concrete, local insulation, local heaters, and local casters and clay. And what we found is the most effective is to use vocational schools. So I guess I can stop there. I don't know if you've already cut me off, but thank you very much. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was going to ask what your insulation material was actually, because that's quite an important part of it.
Yeah, so right here you see in Zambia, we were using the stuff that they have in pillows that they sell on the street. That's polyethylene. It has a melting point of 260. So you're not going to get over 260, but a lot of cooking can happen before then. We can use fiberglass. Certainly, we can use fiberglass and rock wool here in India.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, I think the insulation material is a key area where local materials could be really valuably used, and it provides job opportunities as well.
So
okay, brilliant.
These are 2 schools. Give me 20 more seconds. These are 2 schools we set up, vocational schools we set up in Malawi, and right now we're negotiating with the Polytechnic Women's College at Kokotau. Thanks very much.
Okay. Did I see a picture of my friend Madlitso in Malawi that you're working with? Or did I miss that? No.
I
don't know.
think so, but if you have a friend in Malawi, I'd like to know who they are.
Okay. All right. I will do. So, are your details in the chat, Pete? Would you be happy to put that? Because
Yes,
people, I'm sure, will be interested in more.
I'll do 2 things. I'll put my email, and I'll put the website where I can post. This presentation.
That'd be great. Thank you. Very timely, as you say. So, Mr. Shankar, are you still there? Would you like to kind of give any final remarks about the way forward?
Thanks, Nick. I think very nice. The Pete and the other Miss Nabija and tell about what the success story they have been carried out in the various countries. So I agree with some of the points what the earlier speaker has taken on the affordability, reliability, and the accessibility. So I agree with that these are the key elements without which any program cannot be success. And we are seeing that with the support and the guidance of the different partners, we can able to make it reliable, affordable, and accessible for the entire system. Currently, most of in Indian this cooking style, I think the puffing of roti is one of the key concerns that I can see. But I see here that what the Pete has mentioned about this direct, I think, some insulating material which may be able to glow. So if that type of some sort of the innovation we can build for the puffing of rotis. So it may be the simple, we can assume as a, there may be mass built up of the wire or the steel wire mass. And if we can put the insulation where the heat may be in such a manner that it may provide a, the puffing of rotis on the upla or in Indian the coke or direct that type of sense that we may be able to provide the accessibility of these type of solutions. So I have discussed with the various I think the key innovators. So we are hoping that we may be able to crack down these challenges. And I'm very, very hopeful that we are not only there is not any rocket science what the solution we are providing, but with the support of the various organizations and various solution providers, we may be able to crack down the issues and challenges and make this program as a affordable, accessible, and reliable solution for the clean cooking option for Indian cuisines. So this is my hope, and I thanks a lot to MECS, Vimal, and the other partners who have provided a good input. And we are hoping that the inputs of, I think the Ms. Kanojia, Aarti has mentioned, and the other have mentioned that there are many innovators where we can able to see the solutions of the different type of challenges. So Aarti has mentioned that measurement and verification, we may be able to do some innovations where we can get the real data of solar generation as well as the consumption by the this solar-based induction cooking solutions. Another maybe this what the Pete has mentioned. So we will see if there is some collaboration may or some innovation can happen where this puffing of proteins can be seen through a wire mesh inbuilt in a some sort of the slate or the ceramic plate where the this induction based heating can able to create the ecosystem where affordability or I think adoptability by the Indian cuisines on the popping of rotis can be happen. So my only I think concern that ESL work on mostly the super efficient program, and if we able to create this solution as a affordable, accessible, and the reliable, so certainly this solution what we are proposing, it is one of the best and the efficient solutions I can say. Induction provide the highest efficiency in terms of the heat transfer capability and efficiency parameters. Major challenge is the battery and its lifetime. So we tried and working with the different organizations. So if that can be cracked down, or we can also see that there may be the opportunity where the battery as a service, where any service who are, I think, maybe used by or taken by the any consumers. So that service will be taken care based on the some business model. Then this type of solutions will provide a very green and clean solution for the Indian cuisines and the Indian food.
Okay, thank you. That's very exciting, and we look forward to seeing further news. Thank you, everyone. Look forward to seeing you again at the next one of these.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.